So today we're looking at what is a ratio. And I'm sure you've heard that word ratio before, but a ratio is simply a comparison of two numbers. So a comparison of two quantities. Now, if you don't have a printer at home and don't want to print this out, you just write this on your own paper. That'll work perfectly fine. So there are three different ways to represent a ratio. You can represent it the most common way as a fraction. So we have some number A to some number B. The next most common way is with a colon. We have A to B. And then the last way is just to use the word to, T-O. A to B. Okay, ratios can be simplified just like fractions. And you always want to simplify fractions, you always want to simplify ratios. So this next example over here says a music store has 40 trumpets, 39 clarinets, 4 violins, 51 flutes, 16 trombones in stock. Give each as a simplified ratio. So trumpets to violins, you just take the number of trumpets. So we have 40 trumpets. And then we take the number of violins. So it says there are 24 violins. So we have 40 to 24. And then you're just simplifying the fraction. So you just ask yourself, what can I divide both of those by? And I can divide them both by 2. I can divide them both by 4. I can also divide them both by 8. So I'm going to divide them both by 8 to simplify them and get 5 to 3. I said 4. So there will be our simplified ratio, 5 to 3. Okay, so do the same thing for the flutes to clarinets, trombones to trumpets, violins to total instruments. The total instruments, you'll just add up all of the instruments that they have listed over there and put the violins over the total. So that's the top of your notes page. Extended ratios. So extended just means longer, right? So we can have a extended ratio is just a comparison of more than 2. Comparison of more than 2 quantities. Okay, extended ratios are only written with the colon. If you write it as a fraction, it just doesn't make sense. So that's an extended ratio, pretty straightforward. Using these ratios, here's some examples of that. If the ratio of 2 complementary angles is 3 to 7, find the measures of both angles. So we know that for every 3 units in the first one, there are 7 units in the second. And we also know that they are complementary. That means they add up to 90. So the 2 angles will equal 90. So we can say 3x plus 7x equals 90. Because they're complementary, we know they're 90. Then you just add up the 3 and 7, we got 10. So 10x equals 90. And you just divide by 10 to get the x. Now, x is not the answer. X is what I call the multiplier. So we have x equals 9, right? So that says that if I multiply 3 by 9 and 7 by 9, then we will get to their original measures. So 3 times 9, we have 27. And the 7 times 9, we have 63. And if we check, if we add up 27 plus 63, sure enough, we get back to 90. So that means we're on the right track. Okay, the next one is very, very much the same, except it equals 180. So you just say 4x plus 1x equals 180 and find the measures the same way we found the measures here. We're going to go down, take a look at 7 and 8. It says the ratio of the measures of the angles in a triangle is 4 to 7 to 9. So here's an extended ratio. find the measures of the angles. So if you remember from geometry, the angles in a triangle, okay, the angles in a triangle equal 180. So they are supplementary, but there's 3 of them, so we don't call them that much. But yeah, let's just add them up and set it equal to 180. There we go. So 4x plus 7x plus 9x equals 180. And now you just add them together, divide by the sum. All right, so we have 16 and 4 makes 20x. So 20x equals 180. Divide by the 20. So x looks like it's going to equal 9 again. And once you've got your x value, you just multiply the 4, the 7, and the 9 by 9. So we have 4 times 9, 36. We have 7 times 9, 63. And then we have 9 times 9 is 81. And if we check our work, 36 plus 63 makes 99. 99 plus 81 does make 180. So you always want to glance at these and check real quick. Yep, they add up to 180. So we got it right. Okay, number 8 is exactly the same. You're looking for the measures of the angles in the triangle. Has to add up to 180. So I'm going to go to the next page. 9 and 10 are also very much the same. If the only difference now, you're not looking at angles, you're looking at the perimeter, which is just the lengths of their sides, right? And they give us the perimeter. So instead of setting it equal to 180, you'll set it equal to 76. So that should be pretty straightforward. We're going to look at what is a proportion. Okay, so a proportion is simply an equation that states 2 ratios are equal. A proportion is written as just 2 equal ratios. You have A to B equals X to Y. Okay, you've seen proportions before. And the cross product property, so for any proportion, you can cross multiply. So the A will get multiplied with the Y, and the B will get multiplied by the X. So you just multiply the diagonals and then set them equal, and then you can solve the equation that results from that. So I'm going to go down here and look at number 11. It's a very simple one. So I'm going to cross multiply. So I have 4 times 7, 28 equals 2 times x is 2x. So now I've got this simple equation. I just need to solve for x. So I'm going to divide by 2 to get rid of 2. 28 divided by 2 is 14. So 14 is equal to x. Okay, so that one's really easy. Number 12 is really easy. 13, slightly more challenging because we have a binomial. So the x minus 1 is going to get multiplied by the 19, and the 6 is going to get multiplied by the 13. So when we multiply the 19 times the x minus 1, make sure you keep that x minus 1 or put that x minus 1 in parentheses, because the 19 has to multiply both the x and the minus 1. Then over here, we're just going to multiply the 6 times 13, and we get 78. That's 8 there, 78. And then I just need to multiply and distribute in the 19. And then I'll be ready to go solving this. So I have 19x minus 19 equals 78. So now I've got a simple equation to solve. Just add the 19. 19x, drops that down. These 19s canceled out. 78 plus the 19 leaves us with 97. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 19. And you're going to notice that it does not divide evenly. So you just put the x equals 97 over 19. If you can reduce this, then you would reduce your fraction. But I know 19 is a prime number, and since I can't divide 97 by 19, evenly anyway, there is my answer. Okay, so go ahead and finish up the rest of those.